What is up, guys? Today I want to be talking about my future plans for my E46 M3. Currently, the car's sitting pretty well. If you've seen my last video, you kind of see all the modifications I've done to the car, and I think it's turned out really good. It's at about 113K miles, all the major maintenance been done, but I'm a little on the fence if I should sell it or not at this point, because I'm kind of wanting a more modern car, I guess, for a daily lately. Maybe I'm missing the creature comforts, or maybe I just want a brand new car. So I'm kind of looking at possibly trading it for a M2, preferably a competition. I actually had an M2 in the past. I had the OG M2, the 2017 pre-facelift N55 M2, and I really loved that car. I ended up selling that car and buying my GT4 here, but I also got this M3 as kind of my manual project car. And it's been a lot of fun, but I've ended up dailying it because I actually don't really like driving my GT4 as much as a daily. It kind of numbs the experience down for me a little bit, and I like preserving it for the weekend, the track, mountain driving, all that stuff. Right now, I also have a Lancia Integrale Delta, or I just said that wrong. I have a Lancia Delta Integrale Evo 2, which is a 1993 homologation rally car, which is my project car, my fun weekend project driving car, I don't know. It's a really fun car. I love it, and I really don't plan on selling that anytime soon, so that's kind of where I'm in the awkward situation, because that is like the project car now. This car is just a daily. I'm kind of thinking I don't want two cars doing the same purpose. I feel like I could get a car that's better suited for a daily. The Lancia to me is one of my all-time dream cars, and I really don't want to sell it anytime soon. I have a lot of work I gotta do to it, and it's a small money pit, I'd say. It's taking a lot of my income, but you know, it's probably worth it. Hopefully, I got a really good deal on it, so if for some reason I hate the car when it's all done, I could at least sell it and probably make a profit. But for now, I kind of want to get rid of the M3. I mean, I'm trying to get a GT4 RS to replace this one, which that's going to be an amazing car, and I won't want to sell that either. So I'm kind of stuck with two cars that I don't want to move from my garage, and then having the M3, which is like, it's a good daily, but I could get better in my situation, I guess. But I did really enjoy the car. I've had another one in the past, a Laguna Seca blue one. I enjoyed that car a lot. So I've had my fair amount of time in the E46 M3 chassis to get to know it, to get to love it, to get my full experience out of it. So it's like I'm almost ready to move on, even though I don't dislike the car. I just don't have the garage space to keep it, because I have 3 cars, 2 garage spaces at my house, and then I have the ability to store a car in this warehouse, but I really would rather just keep my car collection down to 3. That just seems like a good number for me, and it's awkward because I have 2 cars I don't want to sell, so this one just unfortunately gets sold, even though I still love it. But the reason I'm kind of looking at the M2 chassis is because I used to have one, and I really loved that car. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I did have a burble tune on it, so can get a little bit of hate for that, but it did sound great. I want to get an M2 competition, which has the S55, so it doesn't sound as good, but I believe its active auto work makes the equal length mid pipe that really fixes the sound of the S55. It's definitely not perfect, but to be honest, the E46 M3 is very raspy unless you get the right exhaust setup. So I think it's kind of the same situation, it's just people haven't really figured out how to make the S55 sound perfect, but I think the equal length mid pipe should help that out a lot. Other than that, I mean, the M2 is just a really good chassis. It's a fun car. When I had it, it was a really good daily. The manual transmission has the auto blipping. It's got all the assists you need. It's really easy to drive in traffic and around town. Not that the E46 M3 is a difficult transmission. I just feel like the car takes a little more abuse going through traffic than an M2 would. I mean, maybe I'm incorrect. There's also the fact that the M2 is just a newer car. This one has, like I said, 113,000 miles. I feel like I'm getting to the point where it's like, starts to be high mileage. I mean, it kind of is, but in terms of E46s, I think 113 isn't too bad since all the major work was done within 10,000 miles ago. So it's like, with the current market, I'd probably get good money, and it's like a good point in the car's life for me to sell it and get rid of it. I think I've owned it for about 15,000 miles out of that. That's been over the span of like 3 years. I originally was gonna get an R8 and then have the M3 as my manual car because I didn't want to get rid of the manual car in my garage. But I ended up getting a manual Porsche instead of the R8, so I just have 2 manual cars. If I had that, I probably wouldn't have bought the Land. Well, I probably still would have, but would have been a different situation, I feel, because the R8's a little more, I guess, dailyable than the GT4. I guess something about the GT4, I just don't like driving it as much for daily uses. It's like a really special car to me. I love it. So that's my dilemma. The M2 is a really cool car. I don't know why, I did have my M2 for 3 years, so like I got to experience a lot of it, but something about the competition, it's like I really want to try out the S55 engine, because I haven't personally owned an S55, and it seems like a lot of fun for a daily, and it would probably be a very fast car once I get it all settled down. This isn't a diss to the E46 though. I mean, this is an amazing car. It feels great. The way I have set up is amazing. I still haven't done headers. I'm probably not gonna sell it for an M2 for probably a couple months, so I'm gonna try and just get headers and a tune on the car so I can like check that off the book. So at least finish that in the M3. I also wanted to get Recaro Sportster CSs, but I might just kind of not do that if I'm gonna get an M2 because it doesn't really make all that much sense since the competition seats in the M2 are the M4 style seats. So I wouldn't need to switch to the Recaro, so I'd have to sell the Recaro. It would just kind of be a process. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. I don't really know if that would be a dumb decision. I know this car is definitely a future classic. The M2 I think is a great chassis from BMW. It doesn't have too much, assists on it. And I think in the future it will be a car that's also well respected and worth good money. But the M3, I mean, you guys see it. They're hard to get, especially a coupe and manual. And interlogos blue competition is very rare now, and it's a well sought after car. I'm probably might regret it in the future selling it, but again, if I had the garage space, I'd keep it. I just don't, and I want a better daily. So yeah, that's why I'm considering selling the car for an M2. I've originally looked at some other options like a RS3, maybe get into a C63 since they're like discontinuing the V8s. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't drive too many miles. I drive about 20 miles a day, every day of the week. Occasionally I'll go to like Orlando, which is like an hour and a half from me. That's where I see most of the traffic. That's kind of what made me want to sell this thing, to be honest, because I was stuck in like a lot of traffic and I was like, this would be a lot more comfortable in an M2, but yeah, still a great car. I don't think it will have any issues. It doesn't have any issues now. I've maintained it very well, but something about a new car, but it's, again, I need it to be manual because I'm just not done driving manuals in my life. I'm thinking like, when I can't buy manuals every day for a daily, then I'll go to an automatic for the daily. But obviously I'm getting pushed to an automatic on the GT4 RS if I can secure my allocation. I'm working very hard on that, but I'm talking to some dealers and it's like even the dealers that would never upcharge are upcharging on that car now, and it's just, car market's crazy. I think I can get an M2 for a decent deal and sell this for a good profit. Let me know what you guys think, if that's worth the switch, if I'm an idiot, if I'm gonna regret it. I don't really know. I just really like the M2 and kind of want to get back in the chassis. I kind of want to get into a new car, have the better creature comforts. I know you can add like the Dynovin, have Apple CarPlay in this, have better speakers with DAV sound and all this, but it's different. A new car is just different. I don't know how to explain it, but if you know, you know, you know? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. You can tell me I'm the biggest idiot in the world for even considering selling an E46 for a trashed new BMW. You can tell me that the E46 is a disgusting shitbox and I should just throw it out. I don't know what you guys will think. Probably not the last one, but let me know. Because I'm really curious, because it's honestly a difficult decision. I can't really make up my mind. I go back and forth. I drive the car and I'm like, damn, this is a good car. Then I'm sitting in my house on my computer and I'm like, these M2s, Hockenheim Silver, Long Beach Blue, looks so good. Put some T37 SLs on it, some RIAs, and a nice exhaust on it, and a tune, and you're making a lot of power, and it's a great car. So, let me know. I really can't decide. So while I'm here, I might as well give a quick walk around of my M3. It's a 2005 Interlagos Blue competition models, Apex Arcades, KWV2, ceramic coated, blah, 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 blah. Got all the standard mods. I think it's done really well. All the maintenance is done, subframe reinforced, rod bearings. Car looks really good. 113,000 miles, Rogue Engineering exhaust, whatever. Standard M3 stuff. The good parts put on it that are desirable, you know. Interior, it's a manual swap actually. I do have the stock manual linkage. It's not an RTD only. They actually changed everything at Lang Racing in California. They did all the work. So I could put stock shifting linkage back in. It doesn't have to be RTD only. I know some people that's like a shortcut, I guess, in the swap process. Just put the pedal house pedals in, got new M3 floor mats. It's a very clean car. Like I said, love the car, but I just kind of want to change. Also, I haven't driven this car in like 2 months, and I was about to take it out today, and it's raining all week. So I'm just gonna leave it here for another week or two, which is kind of a bummer because I was really looking forward to that.